Hey guys, welcome back. All right, so I just wanted to do a little update on what my next journal is going to be. I'm pretty sure I'm going to be moving into this one right here. My current traveler's notebook is almost going to be filled up. It's pretty thick right now with a lot of photos and things, and I was really craving something ring bound for some reason. Very odd. It just kind of came about. And if you follow me on Instagram, I mentioned that I really wanted to do ring bound journaling. Out of the blue, have no idea why. But the thing is I sold my Kiki Ks. And for a moment, I did miss the Kiki K. I had two. I had a beautiful mint one with dots on it, and I've heard it's like one of the original ones, like where it's actually made out of real leather, and I guess like the new ones aren't. And so I didn't want to go out and buy one, obviously, just because that would cost a lot of money, and I am working on a budget here. So I happen to have this notebook that I bought at Michael's recently on clearance. It was, I don't know, maybe like $2 or $3. And it didn't come with the rings. It was actually just held together by like string or something. And inside was this craft notebook. And I really bought it for the notebook. And I figured, well, I could reuse the cover eventually for something like a junk journal. And I ended up buying two of them just because they were a really good price. And so I'm excited to have this notebook to use, and I am not worried about it being like a burden on my blank notebooks to use up, because I know I'm going to definitely get to it. But the desire to move into a ring-bound journal really worked out this way because I had the cover. And so I added the rings, which I actually also found on clearance at Michael's for like a pack of 6. So that really worked out. That was like earlier in the month. They were, I think, clearing out a lot of their things to make way for their new stuff, and that worked out for me. And I had a feeling that I was going to use the rings at some point, and that was good planning on my part. I stuck the rings on here, and what I did was I went through the stash of stuff that I kept out. And I also had this thought of wanting to use up some stationery sets, cards, like note cards and things like that, maybe extra postcards, things that I've been holding on to for a lot of pen paling that I've had for a long time, and I have limited to just a few pen pals that I write back, and I don't write often. So there's really no need for me to hoard all of these little envelopes and cards. And I thought this would be a great way for me to go in and use them up. And so I punched the holes into this. I spent like a couple hours or so just really putting it together. I didn't really think about it too much. I just went through my stash, pulled out stuff that I really wanted that would kind of fit into the frame, and then just stuck them in. And so I just wanted to do a flip through of what I've got in here, where it came from, and go from there. The plan was to just use up a lot of stuff that I had in my stash, and I think I did pretty well in pulling out things. I kept it very light and bright, just to kind of go with the cover. It's cream color, but I wanted it bright, white, some pops of color. I'm craving sunshine and spring, and I feel like this is kind of the notebook, just transition into it. We're in frigid temperatures right now. We're still in mid-February, and here it's cold. So to start off, I had this card I got from Trader Joe's. I'd stocked up on a few cute cards with graphics on them to, send to people, but I never got around to that. So I thought the message, just hello, and it's just blank on the inside, was just a nice little kind of introduction to this, I guess, junk journal. So what's nice is I you know, if I didn't want to write directly on here, I can just pop it out of the rings, write it, and then add it in. And because it's ring bound, I can always reposition, change the order of how it flips. You know, I could just like take this and add it to the end if I wanted to, or add things in. So I like that this is kind of interactive, and I added a lot of like kind of crinkly bits, just so it's just fun to flip through, I guess. So I had a lot of glassine bags left over that I tend to save. And the backing is actually bits left over from, you know, those large envelopes that you would get if you buy sheets of stamps at the post office. I love writing on those envelopes. And so, and Sharpie will write on that with no problem. So I tend to keep those if I buy stamps, and I will tear them apart and put them in my journal. And then all the little bits I use to kind of reinforce so I didn't have to punch into the bag. I had an extra postcard here of Mont Rainier. This is left over from an Etsy shop that I purchased from a long time ago. So I stuck that in there so I can use it. This is a stationery set from Daiso. Once again, using that stamp envelope there to kind of reinforce it. I did use paper from my pile, so I did shop my stash. I cut that down. I was not exact about it. I pretty much just stuck this on there and just cut around it. So I don't need to be exact about it. So I found paper that was of Washington. So this is the Cascades National Park. So I thought that was really fun. And I'm missing Washington, so I stuck a lot of things in here that reminded me of that. One of the few envelopes that I kept from my Flow book paper stack, and I reinforced that with some seed paper left over from the handmade wedding invites for my own wedding. Kept that. This is from an old paper bag, just white glassine envelope, some vellum. This is another Trader Joe's card. I just love the travel theme on it, so I thought maybe I could journal about some traveling. Unfortunately, I don't think we're going to be doing much travel this year, just because my husband has to travel for work. So, and this wanderlust is really strong in me. So I guess to help me work through that, I'm going to journal about traveling or not traveling, the places I love, things like that. A white paint chip from when we were picking out different types of white paint for the house. We didn't end up going with that color, but a black and white vellum piece from the Flow book of paper. This is left over from like a shipping label, and it's got like a smooth surface that I can actually write on. An envelope to one of the Trader Joe's cards, and I stuck in some digital printables from the Studio Calico site. This is leftover paper with hearts. Another glassine bag, and I stuck in a postcard that I want to use to journal on. I wanted the envelope aspect too, because I thought it'd be kind of like a fun little hideaway spot for journaling, and it's a little bit interactive. This is stationery that has my name on it. I had to customize. It was from like a Pop Sugar box. This is a fun like advertisement postcard. I have no idea where it came from, but my husband grabbed it and he thought it'd be fun to add to my journal. Some more scrapbook paper, another glassine bag, and I stuck in another postcard that I had. More scrapbook paper, more stationery sets to use up. This is like a Heidi Swap envelope from a long time ago, and I'm gonna use it. Stuck that on some scrapbook paper. I'm gonna utilize a lot of paper clips too, so I can clip things in, ribbons, tassels, things like that. Really make it very Sue's Fish-like, I think. So I'm gonna have a lot of fun with this one. Another letter set. Scrapbook paper. This was from a Sticky Club kit, and I thought that I'd stick that in there. More scrapbook paper. This was fun. I got a magazine recently, and for some reason these were stuck in there. I had like 2 or 3 of these that just said periodicals. stuck in with my magazine. So I decided to save them. I thought it'd be fun to add to my journaling. More leftover flow paper. I don't have much left, so I'm really happy, and I got rid of everything that I wasn't using. More stationery, like letter sets, vellum. See, this is left over from that stamp envelope, so that'll be fun to use. This is very old Kiki K stationery from when I first ordered my Kiki K planner. I ordered some stationery with it, and I stuck in some little things in there. I'll probably add more. And the envelopes was a good idea for me to use too, so I can stick in photos, because I do journal with a lot of photos. I photocopied some Richard Scarry books. I love his books. I grew up with them, and then I got a bunch for my daughter, and I was scanning pages to make little pendants. I'll make little banners for her birthday party, and I had black and white ones. I decided to save a sheet and cut that down and add it in here for journaling. His books make me so happy. I love his books. Scrapbook paper. This is from another paper bag I cut down. A thank you card. I thought that would be, I just love the gold foiling on this. It's just, I only had the one left of this design, and I thought it'd be nice to just, I don't know, write a thank you note to myself. And I'm learning to try to be kinder to myself. I haven't been so for the past few years, so I'm working on that. Another glassine bag that I just reinforced with some graph paper bits, and I stuck in some paint chips and leftover pieces. This glassine envelope with cute clouds on them. This is leftover packaging from something that a viewer sent me, and the packaging was just too beautiful, so I pretty much ripped it up and kept it for my journals. Another glassine bag and some printables. This top one is from Tiffany Julia's site, Ariel Lovely. I think this is stationery from Daiso. This is a postcard of an exhibit that I recently went to see, and I loved the painting so much that I bought the postcard, and it like fits perfectly in this cover. More scrapbook paper, more of that stamp envelope. I love this bow paper. I wish I'd gotten another sheet of that. More of that print packet, shipping label packaging. Packaging from the art museum. This is from packaging from a gift that I'd received for Christmas. And finally, just a blank envelope that I can fill. And so the only thing that really cost me anything was just the cover, which I happened to get 2 uses out of. I get the cover and then the future notebook. And I'm really excited to move into this, and didn't thicken up too much, but I'm sure once I start adding things, it'll get pretty big. I pulled out just a few things that I want to add to it, like a little leftover bag that I can make a shaker pocket out of, some printables from Studio Calico, from Sue's Fish that I can use. I am desperately trying to use up this sheet of stickers. I have no idea why it's taken me so long. This is from when I first started really getting into all the stickers and whatnot, from like, I don't know, 2014 or 15. It's become a challenge to use this up. Blank envelope, some more journal cards. So I'm kind of making this my little kit for this journal. And then this is a gift card tin. I love the 50s ladies on there. And I pulled out all the die cuts that were bright, light, fun, that I had left over. I don't have many die cuts left, but anything that kind of fit the bright color theme, I stuck in there, and I'm going to use, I've got some paper clips here, a little bit of ribbon. I'm going to go through my trim and all of that too and just stick that in there. And I'm just gonna make this a fun journal to really get creative with. And it's just gotten me very much in the mood for spring, and I'm so looking forward to it. So I thought I would come on here and show you what my next journal is going to be. This is going to be journal 135 soon. I'm probably going to start in it this weekend, and I can't wait. So if you have any questions or comments, let me know down below. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.